a child,
Here you go.
my mother told me that humans are capable of the best and the worst.
I am not done talking!
She was wrong. Some are only capable of the worst. The natives have a legend about those people. A legend as old as the mountains of this region. They say that in time of famine, an evil spirit comes out of the woods to possess those who had cannibalized the flesh of their peers.
Nina, I'm glad we finally had a chance to
No,
get
it
this
was like I was here in the studio working and I was like, Jean, you don't understand. I can't reschedule. I was like, you don't understand. I have to do this with Tim.
Yes, well, I had a cold yesterday, and I wasn't going to miss it either. So I'm glad we're here.
Me too, me too. But you feel okay now?
I feel okay now. Nothing that'll show on camera. So I want to ask you about this really awesome film, and I mean that sincerely. Cold Meat. It was just had me on, yeah, cliche, but edge of my seat in terms of watching it because not everything is as it seems in this film. But you tell us what you're able to tell me and the viewers about what this film's all about.
Woo! Well, it's so hard to talk about this movie without giving it away, isn't it?
That's true. That's true. That's why I'm
So-
putting the onus on you.
I know. I was like, I thought you were gonna do the heavy lifting, and I'm just
Well,
gonna sit there and look pretty.
well, it starts out as it's the kind of film that starts out going in one direction, and we think we're dealing with some problems between you and your ex-husband. And
Yeah.
there's also another character who's stopped at the, I guess, restaurant that you're working at,
Mhm.
and he offers to give you a ride home to get you home safely. And then
Yes,
there's a storm that is just, bringing all kinds of snow down, and then everything goes to hell after that. How's that for a description?
I think you're doing amazing. I mean, I would have butchered it, but you're a pro at this.
Well,
Yeah.
what was it
That's
about this
exactly
film that
what.
attracted you to it? Because again, it has a lot of twists and turns, one big twist about halfway through. But what is it about what you would bring to it as an actress, as a character within this film that really grabbed you?
Well, the first thing was that it was written like a play.
Hmm.
That was the first thing that grabbed me. And then the second thing was, I mean, first I was like, hell no, I know, I just don't know if I can play her. She's so different from me. And then I was like, Nina, she's not really. She has the same strength as you do. Hers is just very different. It's like more eternal and it comes from a different place because she has a daughter that she needs to get home to. And then I have a thing where if something scares me and I get that feeling, do it.
Hmm.
Right. So that's what happened. And then when I found out, my second question was, who's my co-star? Because I need someone really good. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Alan Leach.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very good in this film, by the way.
Right?
Yeah. I want to give more description about him, but that would be giving something away. But suffice to say, you two work well together there, and there's a lot of surprises in the way we see you both at the beginning and then as it evolves.
It appears first in the dreams. But it's already too late for them. They're damned.
So one of the things I enjoyed the most was that I really felt it was going in one direction. And then the script just flips it in a good way into something completely different. And then you are like, what the heck just happened there? And then you're trying to figure out which direction it's going to go. There's some action in this film, but it's a real character study that there's a lot of a cat and mouse kind of game going on.
Yes.
What appealed to you about that dynamic?
Well, it's a psychological thriller. And I studied a lot because it's based on two real characters, Alan Leach's characters. So I studied those characters a lot, and I love You know, I love anything where I can sink my teeth into it, and I thought there was a lot of good things to sink my teeth into. You know, I think it's endless, these particular characters where you can go because there's so much depth. You know,
Mhm.
it's like I felt like I could really go places and push myself and you know, I mean, when do I get to live in a woman's, you know, single mom with a daughter? I live at home with my mom, you know, and I'm kind of down and out on my luck, and I'm just a regular girl in a small town, and I'm like, when do I get to play a character like that? I always play the villain or the sexy or the badass or the, you know, even though she is badass.
She
I'll,
is. But
I
but
think
at the
it is.
But at the beginning of the film, when I saw the character that you were presenting at the
Yeah.
beginning, I'm like, yeah, this is very different for Nina because you do play in many of your roles, you know, the strong, empowered, physically strong, badass woman. And this is a person who's very vulnerable, at least at the beginning.
Condemned to become like it. The wandering soul seeking human flesh. Always insatiable.
And the character arc is what I always look for, you know, like I love the transformation of a character, you know, where I start in the movie and then where I end up.
Hmm.
So that arc was huge. And you know, parts like that, they're hard to find for women. There's not a lot of them.
There's actually what I'll characterize as a third character in this film. And the third character is this storm and how
Yeah.
cold it is.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're filming in brutally cold conditions. I'm going to guess that they weren't that cold. But how did you achieve the effect to make it so convincing that you were working in these cold conditions?
It's called method acting. It's you know, I know now why I spent $30,000 a month and worked my butt off to make money to go to to go to NYU, so I could sit in my Lee Strasberg class and imagine a hot cup, and you work in weather conditions and you do all of these exercises, you know, 7 times or more, where you learn to sit and create these environments for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it might sound crazy, but in situations where you sit in a car in a set, sweating with sweat like running down your forehead and you're freezing to death, it's
Mm-hmm.
very valuable.
You know, you're an accomplished singer. Tell us what's going on now in that range.
She's forgotten how it feels when it all falls down. Remember everything a little more today. She's forgotten what she said.
Is it true that Paul Anka managed your career at one point? Your
Oh
music
yeah,
career?
found me. He found me, and when I was touring with my band and I was doing pretty well on my own, he found me. And he took me around, and he was the one that got me signed a 6-album deal to Warner Brothers to Rob Cavallo. Yeah, and he mentored me and told me he would help me and mentor me under one condition: if I would give that gift to another young artist.
And thank
Yeah.
you, my dear. So
Yeah.
again, the film is Cold Meat. Everybody go check that out. And it's just a delight seeing you again.
Yes, it's so great.